to the draft.
The never-ending fucking story.
That was like a alley-oop.
Yes.
It just kind of happened.
What are those Argentinian folk storytellers that you were telling me about? The guys who go around.
They're called payadores.
Payadores. Right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
like
you were channeling.
it's
your
like
inner-
That
Bards.
sounds like luchadores.
Well, no, it's like Bart, really.
They're like a
They have a
bard.
guitar and they tell a story while kind of singing, but not
Like
really singing.
like a minstrel.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Yeah,
travel
and they do it-
around.
and they do
have
real
folk
time.
stories and stuff.
they're pretty cool.
They're like freestyle rap.
Like a troubadour.
Guys,
Yeah.
guys,
Sir?
I'm here.
I'm just
Hey,
thinking
James,
a synonym.
what's up?
Hey, James, you're still
I'm
here.
so
What-
not used to having you here. You know, at some point, I'm just going to drop out and never come back, and you guys are just going to have to cope.
No,
How
not
will we
gonna happen.
manage?
Not gonna happen, Andy.
I'm the only one who never gets time off.
Yeah, yeah. Where are your chairs, by the way? I've got a chair.
You stole my chair.
Yeah, geez. What
You
the-
guys
what-
stand
what-
up
what is-
until the game started.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
sometimes
Oh,
they,
okay.
they
Sometimes they put the camera on you.
Sometimes
Oh,
they-
Exactly,
oh.
yeah, that's how it
I'll
works.
put my chair back.
Yeah, put the chair
Sorry,
back.
I'm
Well,
ruining
they
the
actually
commentaries.
haven't put the camera on us
Amateur.
like all day, so I was
Yeah.
debating just going to get the chair.
don't blame
to do
them.
this, But
You
now
see-
they do
Oh,
because
Jesus.
we just said that they haven't done it all day.
Remaining.
We're all just like standing.
Hey guys, how
Hi.
you doing?
It's awesome.
Shout out to Mrs. Flax.
Reserve.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Mrs.
Mr.
Flax.
Why did I say you guys up?
The
to that
maturity level is just like through the roof
Alliances.
right now.
one? You didn't join in there. That's good to hear. At least one of you is keeping it honest.
I didn't know you knew Mrs. Flax. Are you the
was
5
there-
or 6 o'clock?
I was 6 just after you left, but I didn't want to say hi. I was
Gonna
embarrassed.
go make a phone call.
I always leave out the back.
Ah, that's right.
I also go in the back as well.
Oh,
if you know what I mean.
God.
Just let me.
5
Tell me to use the
seconds
front door every
remaining.
time. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Fnatic.
That's the first time I've mentioned her in any group. And apparently she's a
All right, here we go.
things with
So
my friends.
over on Fnatic, removing the bounty and the life stealer. So don't want any of those kind of like mid-game heroes and snowballing. And Alliance has
James.
taken out the Lich and Veno
Alliances
because they don't
turn
like
to
Pyrian
peace.
Flax's heroes.
Well, I don't really call myself a Veno picker. I've played him a few times. It doesn't go well.
But
Never
is it-
played Elder Titan. I might have to revise that.
You do
He's
have to.
difficult, Elder Titan.
Yeah, he
You
looks
have to
hard.
control 2
That's
people.
yeah, see, that's what puts me off.
Yeah,
You don't
but
really
he's
have to control
amazing.
it. You just right-click it on a hero.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
shit, I
much.
thought you had to, like, there was alt tabbing and, you know, the tabbing and all
No,
that.
no,
Really?
no, no, no.
I
You just like
right-click?
you make the illusion and then you right click on a hero and the illusion will chase
I
the hero
mean,
forever.
essentially the most micro that you do
5
is
seconds
walking it
remaining.
around to scout.
Oh,
mean,
jeez, I
that's-
could do that, for
yeah.
Christ's sake.
It's really not that hard.
Scriff can handle it, and he can't even handle a phone call, so maybe it's easier than we thought. But Elder Titan, though, is, in my opinion, one of the strongest heroes when it comes to actually just those 5v5 teamfight engagements. It's just by being there with his spirit, he makes such a big difference with the minus armor and minus resistance. So a really nice pickup. And Alliance gone for Nature's Prophet first pick. Is that going to be troublesome, Andy?
Well, it's like one of their most picked, if not their most picked hero. So I think giving Alliance anything that they're comfortable with is
10
always going to be a
seconds
problem, yeah.
remaining.
But in terms of what game plan they're going to be going with, Alliance are known for
5
greed, and they're
seconds
known for making
remaining.
greed work in situations where it really shouldn't, just by virtue of being able to outplay their opponents. So I do think that
Fnatic turn to
I
base.
wouldn't want to play against their Prophet.
Yep. Would you like to play against a Visage, though?
No. This is just powerful.
What,
and the other
what do you
thing,
want to play against? Like Bloodseekers and
well,
Butterflies?
Meepos.
Meepos, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
actually, not even Meepo anymore, man. Level 4, 2 Meepos, OP, Ice Frog, please.
It is pretty strong.
Nerf. Although they took away like 900 night vision.
Yeah,
so.
for a while he didn't even get experience on his clones. So that was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was
10
awful.
seconds
But I do like the
remaining.
Visage pick from Alliance just because if you give a team Elder Titan and Visage
5
together,
seconds remaining.
that damage combo is insane. And even if it's an offlaner and a support, which are likely the roles that you're going to be seeing on those two
Reserve
heroes,
time.
what you get from Familiars at level 6 and Elder Titan's contribution to teamfights, like James said, it's just the damage without even needing items is ridiculous.
We saw
And
a lot of
tankiness
hard
too.
punching from Elder Titan
Oh,
in
yeah.
the match the other day.
Like
didn't we?
Bulba had 300 some odd damage at level 8 and he just staple gunned people to death.
Yeah.
It's the ASUS
Fnatic turn to ban.
ROG suitcase. That's what it is.
RO3.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's the Elder Titan.
Wow.
Inside there's could be a stapler.
could, there,
Or a different shaped briefcase.
could it be an Elder Titan itself?
Could be. I think some of the
I
Twitch
found out what it
community
is.
worked it
I
out.
found out
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
They told me.
And everyone ruins surprises. That's why we can't have nice things. So I'm going to take it
5
out.
seconds remaining.
Defiscating it. No. Crystal Maiden. So for Fnatic,
Alliances turn to ban.
strong in the laning phase. Offers a lot these days.
Very aggressive support hero, I'm told,
Yeah.
reliably.
Enjoyed
Yep.
a hand of money.
Yeah.
according to Bruno.
Who doesn't?
I kind of don't like CM against these types of heroes, though, because she is incredibly immobile, and it makes it very easy for somebody like Visage to kind of pick on her. You can just put birds on her, and a Nature's Prophet ulti comes in, and she's like dead from just that.
Yeah.
So when she commits to a fight, she has to be very certain that she's not going to ever be in a bad position. Otherwise, she just turns into food, kind of what we saw happen to Fluff's Venomancer last game.
Yeah, I prefer her as well in good positions and when she's very flexible. That's the one I like, Crystal Maiden
Who
the
are we
most.
talking about now? Crystal Maiden? Okay.
Well, the thing is that you can pick on Crystal Maiden, and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick Crystal Maiden's nose.
Why
But you
not?
can if you're on the other team.
Snowflake shit out of her ears. Anything's
I mean, if she's
possible.
dead, I'm pretty sure you can do whatever you want at that point.
Jesus,
It really
Andy.
counts.
I'm just saying.
God, you got no morals.
Nah. I think we're past that.
Oh, God.
Actually, I
Look,
really like
James
this
brought
graph.
this on himself by deciding to quadcast.
Yeah, I just wanted to join the team.
You do realize the next option here is that we get Scriff round and we just go for a 5 cast, and then we get
Yes.
everybody in here to cast.
And then Wepaz.
Weapons.
yeah,
as
get
well.
the 6
Yeah.
cast.
Yeah.
God, it's just, where does it end?
I don't know.
How many is too many?
With Hellspawn.
One apparently. Oh God, no! Don't get Hellspawn. Like, that is the worst. We only bring him on the good show because people like it when it goes 3 hours long. Without him, it would like last 5 to 10 minutes.
He'll be like, no, we need to pause the game and discuss this.
All right. So in terms of the bans, Mirana, Batrider for Fnatic, and Night Stalker and Naga Siren for Alliance before they pick the puck.
They're removing the heroes, at least if you're on Alliance side. They take out the NS and they take out the Naga Siren specifically for frontline heroes, which you don't want when you have a team like Alliances that isn't necessarily that sturdy on their own,
Yeah,
but they
true.
can kill heroes very quickly if they manage to catch them out. You don't want to give them a hero that can walk in and say, okay, you have to focus me, and I'm very tanky and can't really die that fast. And Naga Siren kind of functions in that same sense, except instead of just being a frontline hero, you can stop all the aggression by just hitting R.
We're looking at a CK here for Fnatic, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Like, the Nature's Prophet against the Night Stalker can be a nightmare if the Night Stalker gets his game going the right way. But I think Fnatic might be looking to pick up a CK. I
I
believe
don't know,
that
maybe it's
almost
a PA.
every game that they've...
No.
Shut up, Bruno. I think every game they've played with a CK in the competition, the ASUS ROG Dream League, they've won.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was when they did it with CK. They stopped doing that, and yes, thank you. They stopped doing that, and they started doing like roaming Sand Kings and Invokers, and that really didn't
Work out for him.
Why Juggernaut here?
Why Juggernaut here?
He's got a healing ward.
You know, this is kind of like Loda's kind of. It's hard to say Loda's trademark hero because he has so many.
Yeah.
But it's Alliance,
Oh,
it's
shit.
playstyle.
Oh, it's IO Tiny.
Tiny.
Tony. Good old Tony.
Tony. What do you think of Tony, Andy?
Never played him. What's he like, Andy?
Well, I think he still works well in the situation because his mid-game burst damage is pretty nutty. I thought they would have stuck with the CK because CK is amazing against
10
Juggernaut. His
seconds
physical damage
remaining.
output with Phantasm is really high, and Spin doesn't really do enough damage to
5
kill the
seconds
illusions that
remaining.
fast, so you can still just beat on him. That's Juggernaut's biggest weakness, is that his physical damage mitigation is the worst part about him. Most carries don't really worry about physical damage as much, but while you're spinning, Juggernaut is magic immune, but he can still be punched really hard. And I think that's what Fnatic are going for with their lineup. I think it's still
Tony
good, though.
punches very hard as well.
Yeah, of
So
course.
that's other Titan.
And the
He
one-
works out and eats a lot of chicken, Tony.
He's a
The
big
one
guy.
reason I think that they would pick him here
5
is that
seconds
once you get
remaining.
Aghanims at any stage in the game, you can push faster because you have it. And Phantasm does push fast, but it's on a very lengthy
Fanatic's
cooldown, and you
turn
really
to
only want to
ban.
use it in situations where you know you're either going to win the fight for sure, or you can punish by pushing a tower. Tiny just has that all the time, I can just take your base if you ever mess up a fight.
Question is, if you're Fnatic right here, you have Tiny Wisp, which is amazing for just splitting and getting a tower in those 12 seconds. Do you play Rat Dodo and try to just play Super Turtle with the Elder Titan and stopping creep boys with the Crystal Maiden and whoever they're going to pick with, and just try to get those towers with IO Tiny, or do you go full man fight and just go as 5? Because you still have the Elder Titan and the Maiden, which are really good in team
10
fights.
seconds
Well,
remaining.
I think their options are open to them. It just depends on how the laning phase goes.
5
Because if the laning phase
seconds
goes well,
remaining.
you can just go YOLO 5-man and just fight all the time. Because a Tiny's burst this early in the game, especially against heroes like Enchantress, Nature's Prophet, even Juggernaut, if he doesn't get his spin off in time, he can just get flattened. And an Elder Titan Tiny combo, ouch. That's going to hurt.
I also like the fact that Crystal Maiden really offers a lot of help with her aura to Tiny and Elder Titan.
Yeah, and the aura actually doubles the regen from the tether as well, so Tiny's just going to be at like full mana all
So,
the time.
like, having Tiny with that much mana in the mid lane, it looks to me that Fnatic are just playing to crush their lanes, because Elder Titan's great in lane, Tiny's great in lane when you actually have and can support the mana, and now you see an Enchantress as the final pick of Alliance, and that's kind of like, well, we need to get a little bit beefy going into the mid game and have...
Yeah, but at the same time, imagine, like, Enchantress. Imagine all the people living life in peace. They wouldn't have Dota because they wouldn't fight against each other, but Enchantress and Juggernaut, that means you can push at level 2.
Yeah, the Juggernaut was kind of, I guess, the transition into starting to be a bit of a push strat.
And with the Nature's Prophet as well, if Fnatic is not careful enough, they will lose whoever is in that off lane just really fast because they will have no towers.
So Alliance are trying to beat Fnatic at Rat Dota.
I don't think it's called Rat Dota if you actually have a team that's entirely decided to push, as opposed to a hero that pushes really well, like an anti-mage, or maybe a Tiny and a Wisp.
I'm just looking at Alliance's team here. You've got Nature's Prophet, who's probably, arguably, Admiral Bulldog's sort of signature hero, right? Although he's also a very good lone druid. Puck, who is like S4's one of his strongest heroes. Juggernaut, who you say is one of Loda's signature heroes.
Ake Enchantress.
Right.
And then EGM on Visage. Yeah.
So don't they have the exact team that they would like to play?
Yeah,
or pretty close to?
The great thing about EGM on Visage is he's really aggressive. And Visage, when you play that hero well and you can actually stay alive in aggressive positions, you get these kind of surprise kills or surprise amount of damage out. And because he's incredibly tanky as well, Visage. So it is really, really nice. And lastly...
EGM is a very aggressive support player.
Yeah, he has been. I personally feel he's been playing a little bit sometimes too aggressive. But either way, and lastly, it is going to be a Lion pickup for Fnatic.
Is this
Middle
going
Lion.
to be a middle Lion? Yeah, or is it going to be a dual mid, IO, Tiny, and then...
But then you're leaving like
It's
a
CM
It's a
Lion.
middle lion.
It's a middle Lion.
It's got to be.
That's when was the last time you saw a middle Lion, Andy? I don't remember.
A long time ago.
In a galaxy far away?
Like, beginning of Dota 2 long ago.
Yep.
It's just not seen mid that much. His base damage isn't really that good, but his skill set really lends itself to getting early experience. So people used to run a mid all the time in Warcraft 3 Dota, back when people used to just play super ganky, rush a blank dagger, just zap people and kill them. But the thing is, Finger now has an incredibly long cooldown at level 1. It's 160 seconds. So between the levels of 6 and 11, you can really only reliably gank maybe once or twice until you get your Finger cooldown to that 100-second mark once you finally get level 2. But we're going to hop inside of the game now. And for me, I think Alliance, like you had mentioned, they have one of the most comfortable lineups that they could ever get in terms of what they like to play. So even though I think that Fnatic's draft is good, I still would probably give Alliance the edge just because of the whole comfort zone factor.
We will see.
I'm going to give it to Fnatic.
I think Alliance.
Because I think they like to play uncomfortably.
What? Is that like a thing?
Yeah, they're better away than they are at home.
Yep.
Ah.
I'm going to go with 35 minutes or less. Alliance, 35 minutes or more. Fnatic, exactly 35 minutes. Both thrones died at the same time.
Okay.
30 seconds.
How many rares on that?
All my rares.
I want to ask Andy, Lion versus Puck mid.
Puck should win.
Is Lion at least got something going for him in terms of like insta hex? If he gets like a possible gank, is he able to escape, or is he pretty much dead?
If you react fast enough, you can escape a gank as Lion, but you have to land a really good Earth Spike, or you have to be like...
very quick on your hex?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to watch for that period. That's
And
me
level
you.
1 Hex is really good now too, because it's 2.5 seconds. So if you have like 1 stun, 1 Hex, you can disable for a pretty long time.
Do you max mana drain in this matchup?
I would say you could probably get away with going 1 Hex, max stun, and mana drain, like 4-1-4, but you wouldn't get your mana drain until level 4, I don't think. Well, he could get it at level 3, I guess, if he's not planning on using his Hex and expecting to not get roamed on. But looking at how the lanes are setting up right now, it's going to be a 2-1-2, so yeah, there's likely to not be much pressure on mid, at least in terms of on Fnatic's side.
Yep, that's good. And watching at the lanes, we will see Wisp and Tiny in the top lane, meaning that they will do against EGM and Loda. The thing is that, aren't you a little bit concerned about that Tiny? If he gets Grave Chilled and Loda starts spinning, he will not be able to...
I personally think it's the Wisp that's going to
The Wisp can always tether
He can
away,
tether
that's
and
the
escape.
thing.
He's got an escape, hasn't he? That's the
Well,
the
yeah, but at
problem
the same time, like a Wisp in lane doesn't offer that much. So I think, like, I would say they're both a threat, but the Wisp is still easier to kill, and being able to tether away means you need to have a creep wave coming in, and EGM can play a lot more aggressive than the Wisp. Even though if you do hit your spirits, they can do a ridiculous amount of damage at a low level, but I'm expecting EGM to kind of take the advantage with this lineup on the lane. So that safe lane doesn't feel that safe until Fly gets there, which he's actually rotating.
Yeah, he's rotating. If they can go
Oh,
right
oh,
mid
back,
as well.
they might catch EGM here.
Yeah, well, actually,
They've got him, I think.
Oh yeah, he's a goner.
History.
That's that over-aggression you were talking
see,
about.
I've been telling this. I've been telling everybody about EGM. I'm like, EGM, he's getting a little bit too big for his boots. Like, seriously, this kid is like, he's playing overly aggressive on heroes that sometimes don't even fit it. Like, he's going into fights first on his Lina when he played that, and his Naga Siren's amazing, but it's that case he was out of position, so not knowing where Fly was a bit of a
Oh,
mistake.
okay, now rotates.
Yeah, teleporting coming from Admiral Bulldog. He needs
He's
some
gonna
body
run-
blocking. He's going to turn around and punch. Full creep wave is there. Trixie's not done. He's really fast. He ends up getting the kill, but he's going to get blocked again as well by...
You could have killed in 2 hits. He could have gone
He's
for
still
that.
alive. He has tangos. He's got spirit mana.
Kill.
Oh,
nice.
the range creep comes in and assassinates him.
Wowee.
Okay, so now all of Fnatic's playing pretty good.
Yep.
We just need Hani not to suck, because he's the guy that last time they played was not doing well.
Last times, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? He's not doing well this time either. He's 3-2 compared to 13-6
Yeah,
of
he's
S4.
4-2.
Wait.
5-2.
Fnatic went 4-0 at the start of this tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah, but now
then-
we hate them, okay? We're like,
Right, but
we're
Hani
very
was
fickle
amazing.
here.
His Invoker play in one of those games, I can't remember which one it was.
No, Servo.
Was
Both
fantastic.
times. Both
Fantastic,
times.
yeah,
he went
yeah.
Midas and
He
didn't
was
do
brilliant.
anything.
Bottom lane,
You're only as good as your last game.
Trixie. You're not allowed in the trees, Trixie.
Well, not at least not until he gets phase boots.
Yep.
Then he is.
He gets the
More
open
venom.
venom.
Give the all.
More punching.
Punch.
Spider venom.
Yeah, but S4
Yeah,
is
they've changed
destroying
the
mid.
they've changed the law, by the way. It said Spider Venom. They have now changed it to say
Yeah, it says.
envenoms your weapon with the venom of a venomous viper.
Oh,
Yeah, they've changed it.
Somebody
It
made a
said-
post about it because
Yeah.
it said spider,
Spider.
and it's obviously a snake.
right.
And Bruno
but then they
updated it.
changed it,
Look
and
at this
people pointed
dive.
out what kind of snake. This Admiral Bull is going to get. Oh, he got
Punching.
punched.
Punched.
He did get punched.
Hit
He's
that.
died twice.
It's really hard to get that sprout
Nice
as
blocks.
well, because you actually have to aim it slightly in front of you. He did try and do it, but the
The
Alpha
Triffid
and
block
Trixie
there, the
pretty
Triffid
fast.
block was pretty good.
And these trees are going to be even more gold for Trixie, so he's having a great time down there. Over on top, how's Loda doing
He's
in the
doing
match so
okay.
far?
5.
Well, not anymore.
He's doing okay, but only marginally better. He's
that
going to get a
no-tail.
kill on no-tail, though. Yeah, Bulldog teleports in. Going to go for a sprout, most likely. Frostbite's there. Arrow looking for the combo. Gets the toss on the target that he wanted as well, but will end up dropping. Fly, he's going to be dying too. Ake is here.
well, they rotated all the heroes there.
Entire
pretty much.
tri-lane dies, though.
This
That's
is an
pretty big.
all-action game. 9 kills in 4 minutes. These games have started like this. All 3 games today, in fact. We've had a lot of kills early on.
Yep.
And Trixie also had his lane all by himself now down bottom. Item-wise, I would like to see him maybe even be the mech carrier in this one.
Yeah, he has to be.
Yep.
No one else on the team can buy it, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be ridiculous, James.
Well, Lion could, but he's getting absolutely handled mid, so he's likely to not buy it.
I think Lion should just try and get some boots. That would be great for him.
Rice, oh shit.
Trixie's pausing. Rice, oh shit, regards no tail. Oh man.
Well, you don't want to eat burnt rice. That's one of the most horrible things in the world.
Loda's like,
Yeah.
food? Who needs food, sir?
You are my food.
I eat Natix for breakfast.
So wait, they're gonna try and eat and play. I wonder if this is, this could be Fnatic's downfall. Hungry Dota is bad Dota.
Okay, so what's changed on the top lane for you, Andy, with that kill from Loda and the everything going Alliance's way?
Well, the entire tri-lane dying is obviously a bad thing if you're Fnatic, because no-tail is only level 3. And when they get level 6, they can start rotating around. But the thing is, if Loda commits to a kill, they're going to get it before the spin wears off, especially when you have Ake up here in EGM as well,
Oh,
because now that they
okay.
saw
Wow.
Assumption, yep. Rest in
Silly.
peace,
Wow.
It's
Ake.
a dead Enchantress.
Heal goes off, but this is one of the other things about Enchantress is that her strength gain is abysmal, and pretty much throughout most of the early mid game, you're going to be an instant combo kill for the Tiny. So unless you preemptively heal, even sometimes that will end up saving you. You need shreds for sure, and maybe even buying a gauntlet or going straight for an urn wouldn't be a bad choice either, just so you get some effective HP. But if they keep giving away kills like that, I think Fnatic are fine. And I think that Tiny's strength gain and his mid game are strong enough to the point where even though they just lost their entire tri-lane, it's not the end of the world for them.
Both Alliance and Fnatic both bought smoke at the exact same moment there, by the way. So I guess neither team is going to let up on the aggression.
They're gamers, man.
Synchronized smoking.
They
it's
came
a
to
thing.
game.
Yeah. I just want to see Trixie go ham on the bottom lane. Like, I think even if he goes overly aggressive now and ends up like forcing supports to rotate down to counter him, it's actually a good thing because then Fnatic will get their safe lane back a little bit and get Era and Nota
Bad
where they need
damage,
them.
man.
So,
It
Good
hurts
God.
so much.
so Trixie really just needs to go ham. And
Oh,
even
he's-
this, like this dive behind the tower, it's not a bad thing even if it doesn't work out.
Radiant's
And you can
bottom
see that
tower is
there's
under
actually been
attack.
phase boots picked up on Admiral Bulldog just so he has a little bit of speed to get away, but also has some decent harass damage. Like phase boots on a Nature's Prophet, it's kind of surprising how much your right click is.
okay, he's gonna
Hake is
find
like
it.
in the perfect spot and blocks him in too. Trixie, oh, he's not actually stuck. I thought he was blocked. Gonna Quelling
wow.
Blade his
He's
way
got
out.
it.
Nice.
He has
He's just
about
going to walk away.
And he's going to turn and throw one of those spirits out.
Oh,
It's like,
Bulldog thought about teleporting
yeah, but
in.
he's like, no.
But then he ate
I
the
saw this
spirit,
movie.
and behind enemy lions is Hani. He's coming in from the back. He has Finger of Death, throws it out.
Zap!
Goodbye, Admiral Bulldog.
That Hadouken.
He's gonna find Ake as well. Stun comes in. Is Trixie even anywhere near him though? That's
Trixie
the
will just
problem.
be able to throw a
the
spirit.
Centaur
Turns into the
Stomp cancels the animation. He's gonna eat a shockwave as well. S4's coming in. He's got a
Yeah.
coil. Orb. Gonna be able to silence.
Silence.
I think he does have to coil for this.
He had to, yeah,
Yeah.
had to bottle.
And the Hadouken takes it.
And actually, Trixie has to go all the way back to base, so he wasn't able to help get the kill on Ake. And just the fact that he's gone back to base, I think that's a little bit more of an alliance win, certainly.
Yeah, I thought he would actually stay.
Yeah, if he
because-
stayed, that kill could have like made that really nice and even.
Yeah, there's no way that S4 would have gone in with the line having that much HP and two people being there. So a little bit of miscommunication coming out from the side of Fnatic.
Maybe
but
Trixie just wanted to play safe. Like, I'm doing a good game.
He's
Don't
like,
care about
Trixie
this
wants to play
Naviga.
safe. Wow, stun wasted from Era. Spin coming out from Loda. Soul Assumption on
Does
the
it?
no-tail. Not quite enough damage to kill. Loda now turning around, realizing, man, that Tiny is actually really tanky. And speaking of tankiness,
Oh, wow.
the
Wow.
bird just gets punched to death.
oh,
And it gets a double kill. Ouch.
You were kidding me.
And Choc Pudding got a prize. Great name.
Did he just hit 6 for that? No.
No,
he was seven.
he was sick,
Okay.
yeah.
I actually think his ulti like just came off cooldown or something when he did that because there's no reason actually to save it in that situation
Yeah.
unless you just want your team to die.
That's gross.
You know what's the thing? No one was there to get the XP. Of course, Nature's Prophet does get it, but it's not that much of a big thing. When you get those kills, it's nice, but they're not like real kills. They're 3/4 of a kill.
Mm-hmm.
And in any case, No Tail.
Dire's middle
He's level
tower
5, I
is under
think.
attack.
Oh, but
Let's have a look. Yep, he
Yep.
is. He's
He's
about
like
to hit
barely not
one
sus.
creep.
and now
There you
with this
go.
level 6, he may be like, hey, Era.
Yeah, they need to kill Nature's Prophet with level 6. Like, in my opinion, that would be good. I wouldn't go for S4. I would let Trixie do some harass, get some scouting, and then go for Admiral Bulldog and shut him down.
You know how
Radiant's
much the
bottom
tiny
tower
toss
is under
combo,
attack.
avalanche toss combo
That's
hurts
ridiculous.
with another Titan Spirit on top of you?
No.
Very
It's
much.
pure damage.
Oh, Jesus.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's a pure damage Tiny combo, which roughly is like 900 damage, I think.
Can you guys please explain once and for all pure damage to me so it sticks in my brain?
Pure damage is completely unmitigated. It
From
does
armor
full-
or magic
Radiant's
resistance.
Yeah.
What it
tower
says
is
it
under
does,
attack.
it does
does.
that damage.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
But pure damage, it can be completely nullified by magic immunity.
Okay.
Right.
So for
So
example,
it's got some of the rules of magic immunity, but it doesn't count.
yes,
It doesn't get countered by the resistance to magic damage.
exactly.
Bottom
Okay.
tower
There's something called universal damage.
Oh,
Trixie
good
needs
God.
to rotate if this smoke goes through and goes well. Like, if he can get a TP reaction, that would be fantastic, but so far...
This fight has been in the brewing
Oh,
here for about
fly.
2
Oh,
minutes.
he reveals his
Run,
Oh,
fly.
lucky.
That's actually really good that he didn't get caught by that.
Yeah, and he scouted him out as well. So this alliance, they're going to be like they're going to have to dive under the tower if they want to go. And Trixie, if he rotates, this could be devastating for alliance.
Yeah, but
so
S4 gets the courier, but he's gonna get fully comboed. He manages to phase shift, throws to the silence. Doesn't save him though.
yeah, Trixie's here as well now.
And now
So
they
this
have
is
to
everyone
run.
from Fnatic. So alliance need to leg
DUTP
it.
has No Tail? I think No Tail has to go.
Well, he's not.
Well,
Dire's
He could
middle
retether
tower
and
is
very
under
easily
attack.
teleported there, but I think they just pushed the tier 1. It's really high health. I think if it was low, you could have justified teleporting in, killing, and then like hitting the tower 2 or 3 times. But since Alliance committed pretty heavily to the top lane, the tower hasn't taken any damage. So I think that's actually fine that they didn't teleport there.
Hand of Money for Bulldog at 10 minutes into the game.
But he already had phase 2.
Yeah. But at the same time, the Hand of Midas is one
Radiant's bottom
of those
tower
items
is
that you
under
want as
attack.
early as possible. So
Of course.
it's not that bad because he had haste, but at the same time, the fact that he had to go haste before the Midas kind of sucks for him.
Radiant's middle
saying
tower
haste?
is under attack.
I think you
Face.
were. You were saying haste. I was like, how did he go haste?
No. He went face boots.
Yeah,
Face boots.
right.
Haste boots.
So Andy, if I was Fnatic now, I'd want to be getting my tier 1 towers down mid or top, like pretty aggressively. Is that even possible?
It's hard. It's really hard because when Bulldog has his ultimate and S4 has his ultimate, it's quite a bit of damage that you're going to be eating, and you have no real way to sustain through that. Like, you don't have a mech on any of your heroes yet, so it's
Yeah,
hard to
Trixie's-
kind of justify pushing into the tier 1s right yet.
Yeah, Trixie's 1.4k, so
Loda?
he's not too far away from his mech.
Yeah, Omni,
wow.
Trixie, potentially feeding here. He could Quelling Blade and pull some sick juke, or he's just going to throw out a casual Earth Splitter and then run back into his spin.
He could
Yeah,
turn
he's
around and
dead.
punch. Nope. He just
You know, you can actually cut the tree to the right,
Oh.
relocate coming in. Admiral Bulldog's going to be paying with his life, so it's not going to be just a kill for no reason. Era getting stun locked here by the double centaur. He even throws one in, and Honey throws at the finger of death.
Oh, moly.
Ake going down. You can cut that tree to the right and very easily just juke out of the woods there with a Quelling Blade. And
But
he just didn't do it.
He didn't.
Yeah,
He wanted to feel. Wouldn't
Oh,
be a
well.
game otherwise.
that's true.
That's 4 chasing no tail out. That's fine. Because Era. And Era, he got the drums. And he's
love
got the treads, not the face boots.
I love it.
You agree with that?
I love it.
What
Radiant's
do you go
middle
for
tower
next?
is under
Do you go
attack.
straight Axe Scepter?
I think it's warranted in this game. The nice thing about Tiny is you don't have to go BKB because the items that you make anyway give you so much health that you don't really have to worry about getting bursted down. That's why Tiny is such a nice hero to use Wisp Relocate with, because oftentimes you'll risk an overextension, but since you build so tanky on him, no matter what the circumstances are, it's kind of justified because you're still going to get your combo off pretty much every time against a team like Alliance who don't have a way of stopping you from spellcasting for long periods of time. The only thing they have is silence from the puck. That's it. So you can teleport in, always combo. You're going to be really tanky. You want Aghanims to punish for those kills because you know your team fight's already strong.
Yes.
So if you have something else that you can kind of push your advantage even harder by saying, not only are we going to win the team fight, but we're going to kill your tower too, it's always a bonus.
It does help indeed.
So Prophet needs to
Radiant's
build some
middle
kind of a
tower is
CC
under
item
attack.
here as a primary objective, does he not?
Well, I think he either goes Orchid or Hex. I'm kind of leaning towards Orchid. He might go Shadowblade first, but I actually don't like Shadowblade at all versus Wisp compositions because all he has to do is buy a Dust and you're still a free kill.
Right. And it's
So-
like 3,300 gold outlay or 3,000.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
3,000.
Dire's
Yeah.
middle tower
It's
is
okay.
under attack.
You're a Han player because that's how much it cost in Han.
Yeah.
I'm not a home player. Didn't they change the cost of the
Jesus.
Shadowblade? I'm sure they did.
Blink Dagger and Lion.
Yeah.
I never played Hunt.
Before Puck, by the way.
This is
S4
huge.
is a little bit off his Blink Dagger. He's 1.6k, and Blink Dagger on Lion from those basically just 2 kills with
Radiant's
Finger of
tower
Death on
is
the
under
bottom lane.
attack.
And it's going to hit, well, he's level 9. I thought he was level 10. He still has a ways to go, but when he gets that level 2 ultimate, we talked about how Lion hurts when you have an Elder Titan. Everything hurts when you have an Elder Titan. And I think this Fnatic lineup, as comfortable as Alliance is with the lineup they have, Fnatic, they have the most synergy of both.
And you notice with Alliance as well, just because of how Fnatic have been playing, they're very much now, let's take what's available for us safely because of the Wisp. And they've kind of like not doing the tri-lane stuff at the top, and they're very much trying to play together as much as they can. And they are going to try and counter bait this bottom.
Wow.
This is
Loda
meant to be a
dies.
bait, but it's, I don't even know.
Naki?
Oh, big
wow.
ultimate from Bulldog does a ton of damage. No Tail's actually going to be going down. Coil from S4 as well. But
Buyback
he gets
on Loda.
tossed and ends up going down. Earth Splitter's going to be there from Trixie as well. EGM, he's going to get slowed. Era not going to be able to make it out with a TP. Gets Omni slashed after the buyback from Loda, teleporting to tier 2. Trixie, though, he makes it home safely. I honestly think that was... It wasn't great for Fnatic, but it wasn't terrible either because they forced Loda to buy out, which is quite a bit of money, and his farm isn't even good anyway. So,
Another Titan
Minus
survived.
on time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea why he didn't buy a mech, but yeah, it's a no, I actually like. I cannot believe he just bought a Midas. Like
That's
that is terrible.
I don't get that.
They might be thinking that they're more ahead than they really actually are.
Well, the thing is, if they took the tier 1 towers and actually took them with a Midas, they would have a huge advantage. And now EGM is actually the person closest to the Midas. He's only got a buckler, but the fact that, mech. If they actually got a mech and pushed the tier 1 towers, they would have a big team fight advantage.
Wait, He wants to eat the Enchantress creeps with it, maybe. Like, that way, between him, he can just, like, whoop, eat the
Mech
creep.
is still better than
Mech
eating an
is-
Enchantress creep.
Like Mech with their lineup, when you've got a couple of squishy supports and you've got some decent burst damage on the other team, just you want to Mech just for the Nature's Prophet's ultimate Wrath of Nature from Admiral Bulldog. So that would have allowed you to walk
I'm
into
not
tier 1
suggesting for 1
towers.
minute that I would sooner he got a Midas.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that at least that's something.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, silver lining.
Yeah.
But at the same
You
time,
piss off Ake.
if you want to go for that, you go for a Dominator, which is roughly the same price,
Can
even a
you
little bit
steal
cheaper.
her creeps with the
And you
Dominator?
can steal her creeps with the
Can
Dominator.
she steal them right back from you?
Yes, but then she doesn't have a slow.
There you go.
Basically, whoever steals the creep first ends up losing because you can just steal it right back and then the
Right.
other person's steal is on cooldown. And if it's in
Oh.
the case of a Helm of the Dominator, it's 60 seconds.
Dyer's
There's a
top
smoke here from
tower is
Fnatic.
under
They're looking for
attack.
somebody.
Yeah. And last time they came down here, it was actually Alliance that baited, but they weren't expecting the Blink Dagger on Hani, which basically set up the initiation on Loader, so he had to buy back, which why it wasn't so bad. But now they know Hani has that Blink Dagger. S4 has picked his up as well, so Fnatic need to be a little bit careful. And putting pressure on this tier 2 allows the tier 1 top to go down in favor of Alliance with Admiral Bulldog, and I think this is just a general mistake from Fnatic. I don't like the fact that they're putting so much pressure onto this tier 2 bottom. I believe they should have been playing around the mid area a lot more and as I mentioned, gone for the Mech rather than the Midas. I think Trixie's just fucking bored of being the offlaner, and he's like, I'm the carry now.
Well,
That was a dead Bulldog.
that was a relocate gank, and it really paid off.
It hurt a lot. Things were killed.
I guess that's one thing they got going for him. They let Admiral Bulldog split push him.
I
They
think he's
can
died
kill
like
him.
4 or 5 times now. Can we see the scoreboard? Here, click on that one. 554.
Yeah, he's been doing all the heavy lifting, and
He has,
at the
yeah.
same time he's been lifting himself because he feeds and he carries at the same time. He's the duality
That net worth. That's not
the
sorted.
dog.
There you go. He's still the richest dude.
He is the richest dude, but you expect that from a Nature's
Mhm.
Prophet. So, nothing big there. However, with the same amount of money, the Nature's Prophet and the Tiny, once you get past the 15k mark,
Tiny win.
Tiny wins.
I can well imagine.
So it's not about how much money you have, but
It's
what you can do with it.
What you do with it.
Like everything in life.
And he's invested it in a Necronomicon.
It's a good item.
More creeps.
I'm not sure I like the Necronomicon idea here.
What do you think, Andy? What do you think, Bruno? Why don't you like it, Bruno? Tell me
Well,
everything.
I don't like it because it really does. I mean, the idea of an Necronomicon is that you want to split push. But you can't really split push against this lineup because you can prop the Necro, yes, but then you don't solve the problem of having a Wisp and a Tiny jumping on you and killing you really, really
But
fast.
couldn't he TP to a lane, summon Treants, pop the neck book, get them to do the pushing with a creep wave, and get the heck out of dodge?
The thing is, whenever someone comes here, be it the Tiny or the Elder Titan, they can clean up that.
Okay, they're going to find Admiral Bulldog again.
Oh, man.
Coil comes out from S4. He's going to keep him in place for at least a little while. Omni Slash goes off. No tail
Oh,
going to be
Era,
on the
you're
receiving
stuck.
end of that. And Era has Trixie, though. They could potentially turn
That's
this.
two
They
big
should.
dudes. Two
Air
big
Splitter
dudes.
comes out, and Era just wants no part of this fight at all. He's just like, yep, I'm out of here.
Oh,
That's it for me. Trixie taking some damage. Centaur's going to stun him for a little while.
They killed the Radiant Courier. I don't know how, I don't know who. Just paid attention.
Yeah, they probably won't get that gank again as well, because that was a ward in the jungle. So I'd imagine Alliance will be pretty clued up to the fact
Yep,
why
they
that
just-
gank
There
came
you
in.
go. There's
Yeah.
There it is.
Bulldog's like there.
There is a ward. I'm not this
Why are
bad,
they-
I promise.
Just go back a second, James, to near the wood. There's a ton of spiders coming out of the ground there. What is up?
There are lots of things.
That's where the courier died.
Yeah.
He must have been in the middle of the fight.
Yeah,
So, because
it
sometimes
has an
the
effect.
unusual essence, the
courier.
unusual effect lingers on the ground.
If you're going into your next team fight, Andy, and the Tiny has an Aghanims but not a BKB, which he's now finished, how are you trying to fight Fnatic with your lineup? Because I think you need to ignore the Tiny and kill everything else off.
Yeah, you do. You can't commit to the Tiny. You don't have the team who can actually commit to the hero and kill him because you don't have a substantial physical damage dealer. I mean, Impetus is probably your best bet in terms of sustained DPS, but then you have a Prophet who doesn't have any right-click because he went Necrobook,
Yep.
and a Puck and a Juggernaut who neither really have any right-click
Oh,
because
nice
Loda's
slip on
rushing
two.
for the Ags, and yeah. They're going for the tower here mid. Familiar's doing some damage. Blinken
Hani.
coming out from Hani, but he doesn't actually use any abilities at all. Era in the meantime, in the back, he manages to get a kill on EGM, and a buyback from S4 straight away. Loda dropping low as well. Silence manages to hit almost everyone, actually, on the side of Fnatic. And Admiral Bulldog's going for a
Bulldog.
kill here, but he's going to get frostbitten in place. Trixie punching him a few times, and Fly ends up getting the last
Oh,
hit.
this is risky.
S4 went.
Very
Yeah, he
risky
actually
business.
went up and managed to get a blink away
Sorry,
from
did
Trixie.
you notice that Crystal Maiden just bought a Midas, or did it go uncommented? Because she just bought a Midas.
It's actually more common for supports like this
Yep.
to buy Midas because they don't have anything
To buy.
necessarily
But
that
now
they
they
rush
can
first.
eat 2 Enchantress creeps.
Yeah.
It's like there go 2 stuns that Alliance have.
Oh, error.
That's 4.
That's 4. More than error.
Manning up.
S4, yes.
S4 hasn't been that relevant this game, unfortunately. Apart from the coil bottom, that was pretty much his contribution.
But you can't really blame him. Like, can you solo kill an Elder Titan? No, you can't. Can you solo kill Era? Clearly not. You can't.
I mean, when Lion's in the game with a blink dagger and you're a puck that wants to blink in to do something, just the counter to you, the hex that you will have is just huge. So maybe I can't blame him, but at the same time, S4 needs to be big. He needs to do something good here in
What
these
can he
team
do?
fights.
The thing is, he's going up against Fnatic, who have... How much CC do they have? You've got 2 Lion stuns, you've got Elder Titan stop,
Radiant's top
you've got
tower
Tiny's
is
Rockfall thingy, and you've got CM as well. They have the only stuns they have are Enchantress's creeps. That's it. And a Dream Coil.
Yeah, well,
isn't
Dream
even a stun.
Coil, yeah, Dream Coil was like the best thing to hit on Tiny to stop some of his movement. But yeah, we'll see what he can do. Loader, though, I feel really sorry for this guy because he's got an absolute dog carry.
Yeah.
Dog.
He's, well, not the dog's bollocks of a carry,
It is the
basically.
opposite. It's more like an actual pair of dog's bollocks, which is not something you'd ever want.
Yeah, like I don't know why it's even classed as a good thing, but like for him, getting an Ags,
I think it's the best thing that he can do.
Yeah, it is the best thing he can do, but he can't take I don't think there's any point in the game that this hero is going to be able to take a right-click fight with Tiny from now to the end of the game. He needs to get his ultimate on crucial heroes like Hanny, maybe even Trixie to remove the kind of aura
But then he
that
needs to do that, hopefully, when they're not standing near their team. Right? So it's like,
Well, no, it's okay if you do that and you leave the Tiny around, because Tiny gets buffed quite a lot by having ET and also Wisp in the fight. But if you can remove the Wisp and the ET,
Yeah.
the Tiny can be controlled with a Dream Coil if he doesn't have a BKB, etc., etc. But at the same time, it's really tough.
the pings are going down.
Incoming Trixie feed.
Maybe. Remember that you have
He's
Era.
got backup. He's got backup, Trixie. He's like, fuck it, guys.
Silence comes out on Trixie, relocate
comes the
immediately,
backup.
but Trixie's still dead before he even gets
Fly.
there. S4 gonna get stunned, Mech is popped, Omni coming out, No Tail's gonna die, which means no relocate back for Era, and now he is stuck here with Hani. Fly's coming in from the side now, nice double impale, Crystal Maiden ulti being channeled from Fly
Beautiful
too.
ultimate.
Does a lot of damage, Era actually ends up getting the double for that, but ends up dropping himself. Now Fly, realizing I am now going to probably...
Use your Midas.
Midas!
You fool.
Use a Midas!
Fucking Midas.
Yes, he
something.
did. He did.
He did. Thank God for that.
Phew.
And I also
about to
like
be
the
a-
fact that he decided to run away from Hani instead of with him, which would have likely led to another kill.
Honey lives.
He pulled a
To finger
Yol from
again
Rock's
another
Kiss.
day.
Alliance just seemed to fall for that tactic a lot.
Let's chase the guy.
Still really good for Alliance, though.
And for Fnatic as well.
It was a pretty even exchange, honestly.
Yeah, but Loader's alive.
Was that CM ult?
Yeah,
Did
but
it?
the Juggernaut still is totally irrelevant. Like, the hero just has limitations in this game that
Have
he's
you
never
not
going
seen
to overcome.
I'm Juggernaut Bitch, the movie?
Wait, there's actually like a...
It's a whole movie. It's in cinemas.
Beanie
Once he
Jones.
gets his butterfly.
He's
Have you
still
ever
going
got
to
a
do
butterfly on
absolutely no
Juggernaut?
damage.
Have I ever seen the movie?
No, have you got a butterfly personally on Juggernaut, period?
Has Pyrian ever had enough farm for a butterfly?
Have you ever
Shut your
played
face,
Juggernaut?
Andy.
That's cold.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I have. Because at my level, sometimes it's possible to get that much far.
It's good. It's good, isn't it, Andy? It's
Yeah.
good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. He becomes an unkillable machine. I always try and get an axe on him because his ult is the most fun ult that in the game, in my opinion.
Do you know what I do that Andy hates?
Go on.
Well, apart from take
Farm with
pictures
it?
of him when he's asleep, I actually get the Ags,
Right.
Mask of Madness,
Okay.
Refresher,
Oh, yeah.
Butterfly.
I like the way this is going.
That's how you play it. Because if you Mask of Madness before you ulti, you actually get the attack speed boost for your whole ulti, which is,
So
I
it
believe,
goes quicker?
100%. Yeah.
Oh, holy moly.
Well, it doesn't actually go quicker. What happens is once
The
you
white
break,
attack.
once you get a certain threshold of attack speed, you can get auto attacks while you're omniing too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So the omni still lasts the same amount of time,
But you get
a
auto
lot of
attacks
autos.
between and more
That's
of them.
sick.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I highly recommend
Like
it.
his ulti, you literally become some kind of crazy
And then
samurai movie.
when the ulti's over, you just literally Refresher, Mask of Madness again, and ulti again.
Yep.
And that's how you play the hero. It's
I
4
see.
buttons. It's fantastic.
Doesn't he run out of mana? I guess he doesn't.
Not when I play him.
Oh, I see.
Not when I play him. Anyway,
You're a
Bruno,
genius.
where are you thinking this game's heading?
Well, the thing right now is that Fnatic knows that they're getting what they want, and Alliance know that they are kind of defending properly. They still have their tier 1 mid tower, but they know they're a little bit behind. They know they need one more big team fight, one more big something to happen, and that something could be Roshan right now. The thing is that they have the middle tier 1 tower, and they don't have Fnatic doesn't have theirs. So if Alliance can get a push on that bottom tier 1 tower, then pretty much they can safely take Roshan. They only have to be worried about the relocate from the Tiny, however. But I think they're in a good position at the moment.
What does Tiny need to get now?
He's getting a Manta
He
to
is
piss
getting
off
a Manta.
Loader. Because if he Mantas the Omni Slash, it's actually kind of pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just good for pushing.
He can also manta out of silence.
Yeah.
He can.
And also he can push like crazy now.
When you have no kind of stuns and all you have is slows and silence and stuff like
Yeah.
that, then suddenly Manta pretty much gets rid of all of those things.
I would say that Fnatic are so far, item-wise, very far ahead than Alliance. So the fact that you got a Yules on Lion is huge. Trixie has also finished his BKB, which is massive. And you've even got a Vlad's on the Wisp
Nice.
to help Era on his Tiny, who was going to finish off his Manta now.
Necro on fly.
So item-wise, they could destroy Alliance in any 5v5 team fight. I think Alliance are going to need to get perfect engagements, which I think is somewhat impossible now. I don't think there's a way to perfectly
Very
engage
tricky,
against Fnatic.
very tricky.
Am I wrong, Andy? What do you think?
Well, the problem with it is that the Wisp and the Tiny are never going to be with the other part of the team. So if you want to try to engage onto them, you need to either catch the 3 simultaneously, which are not Wisp and Tiny, so CM, Elder Titan, and Lion, or you need to just try to hunt the Wisp and the Tiny. But either way, you have to commit a lot of heroes to do that. So as the game goes on, it's going to become harder and harder for them to find an opening. So yeah, I agree. It's really freaking difficult to find a proper engagement. But this is probably the best situation they have to do so, because the person that's getting relocated is inside of the Roche pit, which means that there's less likely to be some kind of
what a
opening.
waste of
One-man
silence.
Luckily, though, Ake, he's gone the carry because he knows Lotus sucks. So he's got an
Oh,
axe.
he kills the birds in one hit. That just happened.
That cleave.
Wow.
They're not even really that scared, and I guess why would they be? Era is incredibly tanky, 2400 health and 18 armor, plus he has Craggy. Here comes the Omni Slash, though, doing a little bit of damage, but doesn't really take anyone down. Fly is going to be the lowest of anyone. S4 goes in, manages to get a silence, but Manta coming out from Era as well, doing quite a decent chunk of damage. Ake, though, getting a killing spree, going to town on Hani. Soul Assumption onto Era as well, and Alliance are actually going to be able to turn this.
S4 bought back for this,
Wow.
Yeah.
however.
And they're gonna get
S4 bought
Roche.
out.
Nice, yeah. Hani was actually kind of rendered useless there. Ake just chased him off with his axe on his impetus. So, wow, okay.
Okay. Well,
Alliance apparently
let's
can
scratch
fight.
everything we just said.
Yeah. I thought Trixie was going to be a much bigger factor in that fight, in the sense that he was able to kind of be like, I didn't know why he just didn't set up some crowd control, like sleep the guys and then just something to delay him and finish off the Roshan. I think Fnatic could have potentially done that. Especially since the blinking and the silence from
Yeah.
S4 wasn't good. I would have committed to Roshan and just used Trixie to control. With Honey.
Now we see Diffusal Blade on Loda. What do you think this Diffusal's for, other than for chasing?
Hitting people.
Well, it is pretty much just a chase item here. You don't really have anything to diffusal outside of, you can diffuse Hex and Frostbite.
What about Necronomicon creeps? Can you defuse them? Does that do anything? No?
Doesn't
think
it
it
destroy
does.
summoned units?
You think it does?
Hover over
I
it.
think it does.
It does damage to summon units, yeah.
Because it destroys Warlock Golem. So it should destroy Necro Creeps.
Instantly kills
I'm
summoned
like pretty
units.
sure it does.
Yeah, it
So there you
instantly
go.
killed summoned units.
Now, if you kill the neckbook creep with the diffusal blade, do you take the damage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
Not
yes.
if you're spinning, though.
But at the same time, you saw Loader in that last team fight. He wasn't interested in Era on his Tiny. He just wanted to ulti the supports, and it was a Necronomicon that was popped by, I believe, Fly.
That messed up the
And it messed it up a little bit, but he was able to finish him off with a spin. But now with the Diffusal, he's got another way to chase down these supports, which I still think pretty crucial to supporting Era, unless he's going to get ridiculously fat in the future. And he looks like he's going for his BKB, which is pretty much the only pickup that he would really need
Speaking
here
of Era,
to fight.
he's going for a BKB apparently.
Yeah.
Either that or Heaven's Halberd or Sanjay.
I don't know if he really needed a BKB.
That's the thing I was going for. Is What's
it's
the
cool.
BKB for here?
It's because he's just going to run up to someone's base, BKB, and hit it a little bit, and then run back, and that's how they're going to win the game.
I guess maybe
Obviously,
he just
after
really
his assault
doesn't want to get
turrets.
silenced or something. Like it's just.
I mean,
he's
what-
He has a
terrified of
meta
He has a
already.
Manta, yeah.
Okay, he's going Sans and Yasha. Boom. On top of a Manta.
You can't disable the. You can disassemble the Manta. So
No, he's doing it on top of.
on top of
Yeah.
He's going for the S and Y and Y.
S
Yeah.
and Y and Y.
But the other Y was used in a Manta.
Why
Setting
S
trends.
and Y and Y?
I don't know.
Speed demon.
Gotta go fast, man.
So,
S and Y does give 2% more move speed.
Is it 2?
Well, no, it gives 2 more than a Manta, because
Okay.
Manta gives 10, S and Y gives 12.
No, it does 16 now, doesn't it?
No,
Didn't they change it?
It doesn't
I thought it
stack.
was 12.
Maybe
it is 16.
click on shots.
Wait, how do I...
Just click on shop.
Oh,
Oh, relocate
okay,
counts.
we're
Wait.
gonna have to hold that thought. They're going on bottom, and
Oh.
they're just going to split push, I guess.
see?
It is 16.
Split push
16%
tactic.
move,
I thought it was 12.
But does it stack or not?
No, it doesn't stack, so you only get 6 more.
Radiant structures are
Imagine if he had his
Oh.
S, Y, and Y.
How do I do
Wowee.
it this way now?
Leave me, says
Yeah,
Teddy.
the tower
as he
dies
eats
fast,
it
but they
down.
managed to pick off No Tail. So
No Tail came back alone because he
Yeah.
knew that when they left, they were waiting for him.
he
behind.
just said, "Sing tales of my valor, friends," and then
Yes.
he just left.
So we've got some important item choices coming up for some of these players. First one is Trixie.
Dire's top
He's got
is under
3.6k gold. We also have, yeah, S4's doing okay on the gold, but actually Admiral Bulldog is doing really, really well in terms of farm now after his Necronomicon and also his BKB. What do you think he should be going for? Because he's been given a lot of it.
Well, it's hard because if you're in Bulldog's position, you need damage. I mean, a book 3 is nice and BKB is cool, so you don't just die.
Yeah, you want right click now, right?
Yeah, but now you have to
That's
become relevant in terms of damage. You're not a threat in terms of right click to anyone really on the side of Fnatic. I mean, maybe the Wisp and the Sam are going to be worried about you, but other than that, it's kind of no one cares. I'd say honestly, Deso wouldn't
Yeah.
be too bad.
Wouldn't you want him
Okay.
to have a?
Radiant's middle
So let's
tower is
say
under
that he
attack.
focuses on Deso, and then also Loader's getting a Yasha on his way, so they're looking for that kind of burst damage. Where does Trixie go with this? He's on 4.4k. Is it Assault Cuirass?
It could be AC, or it even could be a Shiva's, I think, and just adding a little bit more AoE to the push, or honestly, he could go Hex too. There's a lot of options for Trixie. He's gone for a really fast BKB after his Midas, which it's okay, but you want to be more of an influence in fights in terms of what kind of activated items you have. A BKB only offers him defense, whereas ET, in my opinion, is always kind of like that pure aggression offensive hero who you can just use to punch people with, and Shiva's is great for that, but looks like he's just gonna go hard, so he just wants to be even tankier.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure about the heart choice, and
Could be
of
a
course
thing.
we're going to see EGM go towards his Aghanims, which will make him pretty painful. Loader going to
Trixie
ulti onto
got jumped
Trixie,
on him.
and he's like, hit me too, and Trixie
Man,
will
that
get
lasted
diffusal
so long.
and then die. Yeah, Yasha finished up before the Omni slash level 3 added some attacks.
And the
it-
middle's
is it-
being pressured here
Dire's
by Era
bottom
as
tower
well,
is
so the
under
tier
attack.
2 dies so fast.
Oh,
That damage.
Radiant's
He
middle
pushes
tower
faster than almost the entire team of
Dire's
Alliance,
bottom
just
Yeah.
tower
because of
has
overcharge.
fallen.
Is it 12 jumps with Axe?
level 16, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of jumps.
It
ET
is
just
a
got
lot.
back
And since he has quite a bit of agility, he gets extra auto attacks off too, and you can use items during Omni, so you can defuse the person that's running away while you're Omniing them.
Nice.
Okay, guys. So I said 35 minutes was the time that Alliance had to win this game, and after this, I'm going to Fnatic. But I ask you, Andy,
Andy, for 2
how
points.
does the late game look for these two teams?
It looks late, past
problem-
12 o'clock.
For Alliance is there's always going to be the threat of a backdoor. Tiny is one of the few heroes in the game that can backdoor through backdoor protection. And once he gets an AC completely finished, which he might have soon, he could even go Butterfly if he wanted to. If you wanted to go for more of a hard carry, I don't want to die to anything like Omni Slash or anything like that kind of a build, I think it's still okay. But with Overcharge, you teleport once, you force the glyph. The next time you teleport, you kill the tower. Like there's nothing that they can do about it aside from committing all of their heroes. And since Tiny does have a BKB, unless they kill No Tail with the relocate gank, then they're going to go back to wherever they came from. So Alliance are going to have to at some point commit to a 5 versus 5 engagement where they're confident in being able to outpush and know that they can just win the game flat out or just get a really good trade, which becomes very difficult against a 6-slotted Tiny.
I just want to point out in terms of farm as well, Bruno.
Yes.
S4.
Yep.
Have you seen his net worth?
He is
It's tough.
tough, yeah. He's not doing well.
He's a poor guy.
Could
I
be
think he
doing
needs to
better.
go straight for that Hex.
Yeah,
He's got the
yeah.
ultimate orb.
I don't think there's another way to go for this.
He's not had a great
I mean,
game.
sometimes it's nice to get like a Yours or something. I don't know. I hope he's not going Lincolns with that ultimate orb, but either way, we'll see.
It
No,
like the
there's
way
no
that he
way.
doesn't help.
The
There's no
fire
way it can be
effect on
Lincoln.
Loda's sword there when he spins is pretty nice.
Isn't that
I've
just
got
a
that
normal
sword,
spell?
I didn't think it had a fire effect on it normally.
Do I have that sword? I don't know.
It's a dragon sword, apparently.
Out of all the item picks from Fnatic, the ones that I'm questioning. Oh, Maiden.
Bottom lane, yep, Fly. Gonna be dropping here. Admiral Bulldog might be trading his life for a Crystal Maiden, though, and that is definitely not worth it. Ouch.
I was going to say the item pick that I'm questioning the most right now is the Crystal's Maiden's Necro 3. Because it's kind of cool to have a Necro 3 and it helps in fight and it kind of helps against the Omni Slash, I suppose. But at the same time, you're not going to be with the Tiny where he pushes, because Tiny will be mostly split pushing separated from the team, so your Necro will not be as effective. And at the same time, if she had a BKB, if she has something else, maybe she could be more important and maybe even become one of the Omni Slash targets. Like, I need to use Omni Slash to stop her from channeling her ultimate. Just making the fearful in battle. But I guess, I don't know, the Necro there helped her a little bit, and they got a kill on Admiral Bulldog, so that must count for something.
It's incredibly hard for both these teams to get the push going around the tier 2 and past the tier 2, it seems here, Andy. It looks like we're just going to see another Roche fight, because every time the Alliance want to push, they've got the relocate to worry about and the fact that the pure strength of the Tiny in a fight. And every time that Fnatic want to push, they've got the problem that Alliance are normally smart enough to get in a position where they're threatening to the rest of the team and also the base. So is it another Roshan fight that's going to decide the next kind of big encounter?
It could be. The problem is that whenever somebody goes for Roshan, the Tiny pushes faster than the Prophet.
Okay.
Which is always going to be what it boils down to, is Fnatic are going to have the lane equilibrium advantage most of the time, unless Alliance commit like 3 heroes to, say, middle, for example.
What are you doing, Hanny?
Oh,
You're
relocate.
crazy.
Well, that's
Honey's
good.
not really crazy, because Loda's dead.
Oh, I thought there was S4 nearby, but it was yeah,
no.
EGM.
So, all is
Victory.
well for Fnatic.
Run, Hanny.
They managed to get a free kill on Loda, so he's dead for 75 seconds.
And now they
And there's
push
no
top as well,
buyback.
because everyone
Yeah.
rotated bottom. So Era is like, well, thank you very much. Now we push. And Flycast is like, hey guys, I have a Necro 3. I can help this time.
Tiny
Shut up,
is
Bruno.
just-
He hits for 390, and he can manta, and he's got the AC, and he can get overcharged by Wisp.
Yeah.
It's incredible. That's
He's
just
going
raw
to
power.
Look
obliterate
at
this
this
power.
melt.
That's like 5 shots from half health, more or less, I think.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man, Loda needs that butterfly soon.
Well, I think they're going to
'Cause
lose a Rax here.
I've seen this movie and it doesn't
There's a
end
glow,
well.
so I don't know if they're going to lose Rax, but they're certainly going to at least lose their tier 3. Still 30 so seconds left on Loda respawning. And I don't think Alliance can commit to this fight. And everyone on the side of Fnatic is currently here. Era taking some damage, but
They
he
can
will be
defend,
fine.
though.
Yeah, they can defend, but I think they lose the tower no matter what.
Yeah, the tower will die in 2 hits.
Boom.
Necros popped against each other. They might actually be able to Rax this. Because he just, okay, yeah, they're going to get the
Look at
Rax.
that.
That damage. Earth Splitter comes in. Fnatic, they want to commit to the fight. Hex and Impale off Anna Admiral Bulldog, and Trixie pops the BKB. Wow. Era just going
Bunch,
absolutely
bunch,
ham
bunch.
inside of the base. EGM gets frozen in place. Toss to secure the kill. It's a set of Rax for Fnatic, and they're going to be able to get out, I think,
Nice coil.
scot-free.
Here comes
Coil,
Loda.
the
Here
Comes
ultimate
Loda with
play.
the R button.
Yeah, but
Here it
can it
comes.
actually do enough damage to get
He's
any kills here? Era immediately pops the Manta, and the Bouncers are going to do a little bit of work. Actually gets a kill on No Tail in the back. Era, he's getting chunked down by those Impetus. I think ignoring the Enchantress might have been a little bit of a mistake as they lose 3 on the side of Fnatic. As 4,
94.
he's looking for another, and yeah, I think Trixie ends up going down here too.
Wow.
Okay.
They ignored Ake, who was actually behind them.
He's the secret carry. I'm telling you, man. Secret carry Ake.
Number 6 position.
They need to get Roshan. They like somehow now Alliance need to get Roshan, and they need to.
They should be able to. They've got a minute.
3 guys have
Oh,
buyback. 3 guys have buyback.
Yeah.
But they can do it. You just like in terms of Juggernaut's just standing there and hitting it by himself. He could almost do it with very minimal help, but with the healing ward. But they're going to take the
very
tier
slow.
2. Then they need to go to Roshan, and they need not to get destroyed. And unfortunately for them, Hani's already out, and he seems pretty aware of what could be happening in terms of rotations. And he's a pain in the ass, Hani. With that Yule's scepter, the fact is his movement speed and just how quickly he can react to stuff. is really bad, and they've been spotted out by that ward. So Fnatic know exactly what's going on, but they've got 15 seconds remaining until Tiny. So he can buy back, but I think it's too late.
Yeah.
So this is pretty good for Alliance, despite being a Rex down. I'm not sure how it's going to change the fight, like who you would want it on, but they're going to put it on Loader just to stop the kind of, I would say, harassment coming in from Hani, because if Hani locks down Loader before the Omni Slash is used, he will die very quickly with just 2k HP.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Fnatic right there is they say to themselves, okay, we give away Roshan, but if we lost the fight at Roshan and we lost Roshan after forcing a buyback, then we just, we lose really hard. So I think that was actually the right call from Fnatic, not to overcommit to the fight, which is fine. But now they have this timing window where it's like, okay, we can't actually fight for the next 6 minutes unless we want to take a fight where we're just already at a disadvantage. So we're going to sit back and try to farm a little bit more. It's certainly not going to hurt things, as Era still has 1 inventory slot left to fill, and his choice item-wise is going to be Daedalus.
Yeah, and when he gets that, that's everything he's got. And also Loader has 2 spots to fill. One which is currently where the Aegis is, the other one which is where the Magic Wand, and he's picked up a Talisman of Evasion.
You know what that means, James.
I don't. But it sounds exciting. EGM finished up his Aghanims as well. So I personally, I just want Alliance to slow this game down and just farm Loader up to 6 slots as quickly as possible and get a little bit more carry on Ake. He's finished the pipe, but now he just needs to be like, yo.
A 6-slot Jug, though, will be weaker than a 6-slot Tiny with those items.
Not unless you have double Omni Slash.
Oh, dear
You
God.
should see Andy's face right now.
He's doing his I'm just gonna let you keep digging your own hole.
It's fine. Everything's fine. You know what the funny part is about double ulti on Jugget is it actually takes his entire mana pool. You can't drop a healing ward or spin. You can only double ulti.
You don't need to heal or spin when the enemy's dead, Andy. Do I need to teach you everything on this show?
That's true. But what happens when the other team doesn't die to your double ulti?
That doesn't happen.
It's never happened in a game.
It's never happened to me.
You know, I actually believe that because if you had the money to farm Aghanims, Refresher, Mask of Madness, and you hadn't lost by that point,
Butterfly.
then you were probably winning really hard anyway, and it would have been irrelevant what your item choice was.
I don't know what it's like not to have farm.
I know. Ted doesn't know what it's like to have an item.
Whoa.
Ooh. Slammed.
That's because he
Hashtag
borrows them
shots
from the
fired.
secret shop instead of buying them because he's good friends with the guy.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Easy.
Yeah, he's nice.
He sounds shady.
No, he's nice.
What does a hero truly need?
He sounds a bit jaded, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like,
He's seen it all. Think
gonna
about the
screw
number of
you.
people he sees coming through his shop on a daily basis.
just 10.
On a daily basis, think how many dudes. Game
It's
after
not the
game
same
after
secret
game,
shop
Bruno.
guy on all
Of course it
games,
is, of
Brian. How
course it
can
is.
a person do that?
Well,
He has lots of brothers.
no.
Or a Manta style.
No.
Or many Manta styles.
Or Morphling's his friend.
Well,
We're going to be seeing double hex for Alliance sometime soon,
They've
I
needed
would
it.
guess. One on Admiral Bulldog and the other one on S4. None of them have been finished. S4 holds onto his money for a buyback, but if they get 2 hexes, could that swing
Oh, they
the
found something.
fights?
Oh.
It certainly could swing things. But you know what else doesn't swing things?
EGM.
Deadbird.
a man with a
Ake going to
tree.
town though. He wants to try to get no tail. Ghost Scepter's
Oh,
there, and
Ghost Scepter
he's not
is
using.
evil.
He didn't use his diffusal blade. He purged himself.
Of all
Loda,
people.
why? They could have very easily killed 2 there because if he dies and the
Oh,
relocate doesn't bring Era to the middle.
You can
Era?
use Diffuser while you're in
Why
the
isn't Era's
Omni Slash,
pushing?
right?
Yes, you can.
Why is this? Oh, okay.
He just didn't notice that it wasn't doing damage for a solid 5 seconds and then decided to defuse, but he double tapped it, so he defused himself.
Well, everybody knows you do more damage when you Omni Slash, when you take your hands off your keyboard and you go, wee!
That's
So,
true, actually.
Sound is important as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
How to say wee?
It is important.
you actually go faster when you say we.
Yep. That's why people say
in
wee.
cars
Dude,
and
sounds stupid
everything.
otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason to say it otherwise. It's just like a
This
speed
tower.
boost.
Click on the tower a second. The bot tower.
Okay,
How
bot
much
tower.
health has it got? 450 health.
That's 2 swings.
That's 2 swings from Tony, or 1 mounted swing.
Manted. I like that.
Yeah.
Does manted has an E between the A and the
Manta ED.
Manta ED.
Yeah, manted. I would assume. Otherwise, it's,
No, it's just-
mantad.
It's just
Been
Manta
You've been
apostrophe
manted,
D.
sir.
It could be manta apostrophe D, manted. But that would imply that there was a missing letter.
I like the fact that EGM's been split pushing with his birds to push out top lane.
That's what most BCGs do. I think Speed Gaming kind of started the trend. Some people will say that also Come With Me did it. But it's either one of those teams that also use their burst for split pushing purposes and keeping the lane control not in their way, which is kind of fancy. Oh,
Well, you need to do it as the game goes later and later.
yeah, Era just crit a creep for 1,000 damage.
Yeah.
And that's cleave as well, so 1,000 cleave towards people around you.
Well, this is essentially a 6-slotted Tony. If he sells anything, I think he sells the Manta, and then he goes for maybe like a Butterfly or something. But he might go Satanic too. It's always an option.
Bonk. That's a one-shot catapult.
Yes,
He
it
just
is.
wants to
Bottom.
run and
Fly's
fly.
going to get caught out. Pops the Ghost Scepter. Going to get stuck in place with the Sprout. Likely going to be dropping here. Not really much anyone on the side of Fnatic can do to help him.
Loader can't TP, by the way.
Yeah.
Get a 4-stuff. That's what I would get.
He's going to have to run.
To get away from
and
that.
Era's like...
Oh, what? He's not running the base.
No,
You know, they can just walk through
Yeah,
the base.
they can just go and hit the...
I don't think they're going to, though. It's really risky. Maybe once they see Alliance mid, they will. Because they can relocate back to try to fight if they want to commit to the tower. Yeah, they're chilling. They want to see what's going down.
And Nautil is like, well, I'm behind you, buddy.
Watch
Suddenly.
this.
Loader's just farming the jungle right now.
Oh, Era's manning down.
Era saw Bulldog and is like,
Oh, man.
What a lady.
Nothing
That's
wrong
when you
with
give
Good
them the
idea, though.
Brazilian ping and you're like, push, noobs.
The Brazilian ping.
I guess it's hard to know that the other person doesn't have a TP, though. I mean, you'd have to click on him for that.
It's hard. Oh, Trixie got initiated upon, but
Yeah, but
he's
immediately
okay.
BKBs. It's going to be fine for the time being. They do manage to find Hani, though, and that's actually a pretty big deal. Era comes in, though, doing a huge chunk of damage to EGM. The cleave actually almost kills Loda. Earth Splitter going to secure the kill on Visage. Now Trixie sitting there man-fighting with Loda. Not sure if that's the best option. Hani, in the meantime, has bought back into the game. Era, he's got the double damage. He wants to find somebody else, but unfortunately, he's not going to be able to, and they only lose 2 on the side of Alliance, but I don't think they can continue to fight anymore.
Why not just relocate, or have they already relocated? Why not just
They have
relocate
already
now?
relocated.
They already
Yeah.
used it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 27. Okay.
One
But now
point.
Era can, with that double damage,
Yeah.
he can go
2K
and just...
crit.
He is a human avalanche.
He's
at
like,
this
I'm
point.
gonna just go onto this tower
1,
hound.
2.
Tower is under
Alright, we
attack.
won't count those.
Radiant structures
I love how they're
are
actually forced a glyph from just the tiny attacking
Yep.
the tower.
3.
That's just kind of the push potential they have.
The DD
Bulldog
run
buys
out?
back. S4 goes in. Immediate BKB coming out from Era. Stops any follow-up or a Hex or anything like that.
Oh,
The
wow.
crit cleave. S4 almost dies straight away. Bulldog,
Bulldog's gonna
he
fit.
teleports behind enemy lines.
Nice
and
fast fall.
he is
1.5
going to
minutes.
go down. Yeah, there's no follow-up
Turn
on the
and
Hex.
punch.
so
Punch Loda.
it's kind
Turn and
of
punch.
Loader's like, I'm going to Omni Slash him.
Wowza.
Loader's going to Omni Slash Era. No, don't go for that one.
okay.
He's got
almost
us.
dying. He
he did
defuses
defuse
that time. And
oh.
a finger.
You got fingered, sir.
Oh, wow.
Load the buys back.
But
this
it
is-
doesn't matter.
It really
That's
doesn't.
probably GG, in all honesty.
Super Nuts winning a prize there. Congrats, Super Nuts.
And
Hey, man.
Mike. Hi, Mike.
Six-slotted Tony is strong.
Yeah, Tony too strong.
Tony's pretty sick.
No match.
You know, it's really funny because ever since they added Aghanims for Tony,
Oh,
he becomes
20
a
second
relevant
cooldown.
carry.
Yeah.
So it's like the dynamic of the hero changes completely from like semi-ganker mid-hero to I'm one of the hardest carries in the game.
When was the last time you saw Tiny going blink on a competitive game?
has fallen.
GG.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
think I've actually seen a Tiny get a blink in, God, I don't even know how long.
Ages.
Ages. Literally ages.
Why not? What's happened?
Because Tiny is always played in the safe lane now. And because of the fact that you usually always go treads drums, you have enough HP to sustain during early game fights, and you're actually very fast once you get a point or two into your ultimate
Right.
with those drums, and you have tether speed. So Blink is kind of redundant because you can just relocate into the spot that you would have blinked
Just
regardless.
run at him.
I
Yeah,
just
then
want to
you just give him the run strat.
I just want to point something out, Andy. Like, as much as you were good at analysing stuff, I would like to point out why they lost.
Why?
If you look at Loader's items there,
He didn't
get
have
a
a
butterfly.
refresher.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he didn't have a butterfly either.
Good call.
Pretty much sums it up.
Well, he didn't have the money for a butterfly. Should have asked for a loan, you think?
Period
Maybe.
flax rates.
I think that
20%.
Bulldog, well, Bulldog still had the highest farm. He died 12 times. I haven't seen Bulldog die that much in a very, very long time.
Doesn't play against a tiny wisp that much, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Fnatic won twice versus Alliance, twice versus Navi. Lost twice versus... No, lost once versus Team Liquid, maybe twice. I don't know. But they're looking pretty good, again. Even though we were shitting on them. For most
I
of the
wasn't
cast.
shitting on them.
Well, we were at the beginning, kind of. We're talking about Hani, how he's slacking off, and just like Trixie and Fitz.
Really?
Well, Trixie played great. We said he had everything.
No, at the beginning, before the game. We're talking like
No,
how
yeah, they
Fnatic
had
was
like a
coming into
pre-game.
the game.
Yeah, but they did.
Yeah.
They weren't, you know,
We're telling the
the thing about
story,
Fnatic was,
bro.
it's like, okay, when Trixie and Hani play well, it seems to come into place because they play, like, I wouldn't say as well as the others, but they fill the needed areas where someone needs to play well. Like, I just consider your mid and off laner to be so important when you go into the mid game. They're the two of the lanes that I wouldn't want to lose. Even if like the carry lane kind of lost, normally your off laner and your mid are the initiations. They're strong in terms of levels and stuff, so they're really important. And you could see how important they were with Trixie on the off lane. Did great. I'm not sure about the heart, but I was like, yeah,
Well,
okay, cool.
Maybe if we had
Tank
a
the
look,
ultimate, tank the
Yeah.
Omni Slash.
maybe if we had a look at like the first replay clip, I don't know if they've got it ready, Milton. I don't know. Maybe we could just have a little look. Maybe that'll tell us something. There we go. Yeah.
But this was Trixie on the off lane.
Bulldog teleports into a full creep wave here, which is really important because he's like, oh crap, I actually can't go for this kill. Oh wait, I don't have
He could have
boots.
killed here. I swear to God, this is 2 hits.
Yes.
He was 2 hits from death,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he could have killed
With
that.
the creeps there too, yeah. But hey.
Well,
But he
killed
gets
him
it anyway.
Yeah.
He did get it.
And then the range creep's like,
I'm a hero!
and just gets him.
You're not,
Yeah.
you
It was
creep.
owned.
But Trixie was overly relevant for the first kind of like 10 minutes, and then really did drop off.
Yep.
He didn't add much apart from just his aura and being there. There was no great combos of sleep into split earth. There wasn't any items that really said that he was going to change the game, but he got a Deso at the end.
When
just
you have
for
a
some minus
Lion
armor.
and a Tiny doing so well, he could afford just not being as
The
relevant.
focus of the game became Tony so much that it's like, well, there's no time for anything else. I mean, you saw he was like 1-2 shotting heroes
Yeah,
left, right,
true.
and center. It was, and the game kind of went to sleep for a little bit because they were both scared to engage. Like you said, how do you catch someone? It's too difficult. So.
Yeah, and even at the end, Loda could right-click fight. Obviously Trixie because of the items, but as soon as Era showed up, he couldn't.
Game over. You gotta run. Yeah.
Okay, so another clip for you. A highlight, apparently. This is my favorite highlight. This one. This is Loda spinning. He's like, "I'm gonna kill you, Notel." He does get
kills
the kill,
Notel.
but unfortunately, Era's gonna be like, "You like combos with your menu?" He's like, "Yes." He dies, and then Ake also up here. So this was the whole team of Alliance committing to this, and all the meanwhile, Trixie was just farming bottom, quite happily going towards what we thought was going to be a mech, and he surprised us with a Midas into pointless items.
I still don't know why he bought a Midas.
Hey, it
I mean,
worked.
okay, here's why. Not only because he bought a Midas instead of a mech, but because he was already level 9 when he bought the Midas. After you get level 9, your spirit and your natural attunement are already at level 4, and you have your ulti. You don't need the extra levels from the Midas anymore. And he got extra money to buy a heart, and he had no armor, so he still died really fast when he got auto-attacked by anyone. And the last fight, when he was sitting near the tier 2 on the dire side where it used to be, and he was sitting there getting auto-attacked by Loda, he got destroyed because he had no armor. And it's just like, you could have just bought a mech.
You know what? You know when you play a pub and people say, we need a tank. We need
Yeah.
a tank. Especially it happens in the pubs
There
that
was
Pyrion
no
plays.
Tang.
Well, he was
No
the tank.
Tang. Yeah.
He was the tank.
It's
of the-
actually Tang, T-A-N-G.
yeah,
Not
tank.
tank.
Yeah.
Right. Because whenever that happens, it's usually the foreign people who say, well, I guess foreign for me because, you know, they don't
I
speak
am
English.
foreign.
I know.
He
but
is foreign.
too am
It's foreign based on your perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
So whenever they said it, they would say Tang, and it made me giggle. So now it's just
Non-English
Tang now.
speakers.
We need
Yes.
tank.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, tang is actually the biggest concentrated juice.
Yeah, it's like
Comfort.
orange, right?
Orange juice.
Yeah.
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 So
Get me some tang.
get me some tang.
Or Peter Griffin, I think he said, "I can't get me no tang." No, it's Homer Simpson.
Wu-Tang Clan
And
as
the
well.
Wu-Tang Clan, of course. Yeah.
They
Dollar
love that
dollar bill,
juice.
yo.
Yeah.
Cash rules everything around me,
Period.
and it also
Yes, sir.
rules the clips. So we go into
Is
the
there a
next.
clip
No,
ready?
Bruno, no, Milton, you've got to do it when I say. Roll the clip. Yes.
So down bottom, we see Trixie go down first, and this is where Era comes in. He's like, I'm good at hitting people. Loda will go down to, I think that was Hani that actually came in and picked him up. But at the end, it's all about Era just getting a good amount of damage. But then Fly really did kind of save that fight with his ultimate. And nicely enough, he will run away from Hani, despite Hani does have a blink looking to escape. and he would just pick up a Midas creep. But that happened, this was twice these kind of fights happened bot lane. There was one where there was a bait where Hani surprised Loader with the blink into a Hex, and Loader actually had to buy back out, even though Alliance were ready above smoked to kind of counter. And then that one where it seemed like Fnatic were a lot more prepared. So they got the, maybe the better.
Yeah.
Just because forcing it late game, as we mentioned, Tony gets strong.
I hope they've got the clip in a minute. I'm not queuing it up because it's not ready yet, but there was one where Tiny is running away and just does the no-look three-pointer over the shoulder, which I hope they got a clip of that. That was great.
Oh, when
Do you know
we get Wepaz.
I think so. He was like just.
I think I remember that.
We'll get Wepaz to actually. We'll
was
get
like
it to
the
watch
fade
it back.
away.
Yep.
It was beautiful.
All the time. It's like, yeah.
I want to ask
downtown.
you something, Andy. Ake should have been the secret carry, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He ended up going pipe, which was boring.
Well, I think it was okay.
He should have focused on Era,
Well, he did most of the fights.
yeah, but with some damage.
But he did have damage because he had an Ags.
Yeah, but-
I mean, if you have Ags treads, you could go for Mask of Madness, but as soon as they see you Mask of Madness, they're just going to focus you every single time.
But then you run away because you're really fast with Massive Madness.
But then
But
you
they
get
just stun
stunned,
you and punch
then
you and
die.
throw-
How
people
are
at
they
you.
going to stun you when you're already too far away?
Well, they just...
You know, Tiny with Tether is actually faster than a Mask of Madness Enchantress.
Probably. Especially with Manta on top of it.
No, like you're actually almost 522. Like you're just, you are a freight train of
You're
rocks.
322.
Yeah.
Andy, you should queue this one up. You haven't done one yet.
Roll the clip.
Huh. What a
Amazing.
bossy person.
So tier 3 tower went down, and then we were somewhat surprised that they could have gone for the next wave. And you can see here, as Eero will come in, which be like, bop, and there goes Aki. That wasn't that the clip
No,
you
here
wanted?
it comes. Look, look, here we go. The fadeaway no-look three.
Oh, I was on EGM, okay. I thought it was
Now,
Aki.
Ake, which was doing some damage,
He was sitting here just
he kind of
going.
survives, runs away, but...
They totally ignored him, by the way. Like, he was sitting in the back, just autoing
Plink,
like
plink.
a boss.
Yeah.
Yep, it's like, punch, kill people. Kill other people. Look at him.
Look, they're still just ignoring him.
Kill her.
They didn't touch him at all.
No.
Ake's just
Yeah.
like,
And now
please die.
I'm gonna kill him as
Throw
well.
Spears at you. How about that? Look at
Ah,
that.
kill stealers.
Yeah, he would have got
How
like a
dare
triple.
Loda steal a kill from Ake?
Incredible.
Terrible. It's like he doesn't understand who the carry is.
For me,
For you.
Loader, I don't like the fact that he really, really wanted to kill the Wisp in the end of the game.
Yeah,
In
he
term-
solo omnied him twice.
Yep.
Like, I just felt like, okay, there was a point, obviously, where Aero was like, I've got 8k gold. If you don't kill my Wisp, I'm going to buy back. He's going to relocate, pick me up. We're going to come back. You won't have,
But that's
like,
still like
burst damage.
12
and-
seconds
yeah,
with no Tiny.
Yeah, but the fact is like, that Omni
he had
Slash,
Travis.
with Aghanims, with his items, he can easily do, like, what, 2k damage on a solo target? And
That's right. So here's the thing: is that once he gets that axe, I was thinking, and I'm sure Andy will correct me, but the game got to that point where who's he going to catch on their own, like consistently? And I started to think, well, it's great if you catch someone on their own and you can only slash them, but in a fight like that, what's the point?
no, that fight there, they actually used it, and they did most of the damage. We say Ake, but a lot of damage came from Loader.
Right.
And then Ake did contribute, and even at the end, he was out of mana. But the point is like Loader, once S4 was forcing out the Manta with the silence, because a lot of the times that's when the Manta came in. It was either to push or it was to get rid of the silence and be able to turn it. Of course, he had a BKB at that point as well, so he didn't need to Manta, but he wasn't really like focusing on like, oh, I need to worry about Loader. But I felt if Loader kind of changed his mentality of who he wanted to go on, they could have got Era out of position.
Maybe. It's hard, though, because it depends on who you want to go on ultimately. Like, I get what you're saying.
They were
You can
out
try
of
to
position,
bait it.
sorry,
Right,
yeah.
yeah. You want to bait him out. But the thing is, you can't really do that, because if you go in, you have to commit to the fight fully, which means you either spin, and if you spin, you're going to take so much damage by the time the spin ends that you're going to have to Omni no matter what,
Yeah.
or you just die. Or you end up going in Omni first and then hoping that Era doesn't have Manta, and then you try to bait them like that. And either way, it just feels kind of sketch. I just think that Juggernaut as a hero in that type of a game doesn't really function well, because, again, Tiny, to me, is like one of the best heroes to play against Juggernaut for the sole reason that he is so tanky that he does not care about spin at any point in the game, even during the early game stages, because he's so HP heavy, right? So you can build right-click items first, which Era did. He didn't make his BKB until after Manta was done, which was his 4th item. And by that stage, he can already win any right-click war. So I just feel like, in the sense of carry versus carry, Fnatic had an advantage.
Do you feel that Alliance were meant to go for that push and get it going better?
Well, they had to do it very early. The problem is you can't really do it that early with that kind of a lane presence, because they went top with the Juggernaut because they wanted to stop the Tiny from getting some kind of farm, and they ended up getting a few support kills, and they actually completely wiped the tri-lane at one point, which seemed like it was pretty good. But the thing is, Juggernaut actually doesn't do well in that kind of a game, just, again, because of the Tiny, because of the positioning of the supports, that you never get to the tower. He just never got to get to a building and be like, okay, I'm dropping my healing ward, and they're not going to contest. That moment just never came.
Yeah, there was literally no moment for that, and it was Admiral Bulldog that got his Necronomicon as well.
Yep.
Yep.
He was kind of just playing off by himself. But,
You see, that's the thing. Again, I was mentioning that he went for that Necro. If he had gone for something like a Hex or an Orchid there instead, they would have taken probably better teamfights in general, just because silencing whichever of those heroes, the Lion, even No-Till so that he can't relocate out, or Tiny so that he can use the combo if you're fast enough and you can get the jump on him, even though he still punches hard. At that point in the game, it wasn't that bad. If he had a Hex, if he had an Orchid, things would have been different, because, I don't know, they would have had a little bit of control in the fights, which they didn't seem to have. Their plan at the end was just, let's make some chaos and hope they don't find out that Ake is actually doing the bulk of the damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with the two hexes they had later on as well, it was they couldn't really cause too much problems. But of course, that means with the end of day 2 of our final week here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague, the standings look a little bit like this. Fnatic have played 10, 6 wins, 4 losses, so currently in first place, and pretty impressive to beat Alliance twice.
Yes.
So congratulations to them, and certainly not a bad finish considering their great start as well. They did go a little bit wonky. They came in 4-0, and then kind of the last 6 games went 2 and 4. Team Liquid also have a good chance of doing well. 2 more games to play, currently sitting at 5 and 3. Na'Vi definitely qualified now, so they're going to be 5 and 4. Alliance losing that game, 4 and 3, and of course Alliance, did they have to win to qualify? Are they through anyway?
Well, if
what's
they
happening?
look at this, if they lose all the matches and they
3
ended up
matches to-
4 and 6, and Evil Geniuses wins their 2 matches and end up 4 and 6, I think Evil Geniuses won 1 versus Alliance, and they have to play the other one yet. So if that happens, then EG would be on top of Alliance.
Well, this is going to be interesting. So basically, I don't know if we've got tomorrow's games ready to talk about, because I don't have in my little
Wow.
notepad. So this basically means that if Team Liquid beat Alliance, Na'Vi beat Alliance,
Holy
and then
shit.
EG beat Alliance.
Plus
So
the other
when-
game
when it
that's
goes
going
in.
to be played
Right.
at an unknown date and time.
So
which-
EG have to win their next game before they face Alliance, and that could be the playoff decider.
But
for who
also, I
goes in
think
and
if
forth.
Alliance win against Team Liquid or Na'Vi tomorrow,
Right. So Alliance have to
It's-
lose those first 2 games. EG have to win their game in hand, and then
Yep.
that becomes the playoff game.
Yep.
That would
And-
be exciting.
yeah, and is it going to be that one? Yeah.
You know the thing, I think both Team Liquid and Na'Vi can win versus Alliance.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they will, but
No,
I
but they
say
could.
No, I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Fnatic just won, so.
Indeed.
Okay, Pyrion.
Yes, sir.
Before we wrap up, I don't know, he has an idea of the show. I have another different idea
Okay.
of the show. So Milton probably has a different idea
Yeah.
as well.
I just want to talk about more Omni Slashes. That's all I can offer to Dota casting. I just like to drill it as hard as I can and see if Andy actually gets mad at some point. That
He doesn't get angry. He bottles it up.
yeah, look at him.
Yeah, and he explodes when he's streaming.
I don't really, though.
No, he's
Yeah.
pretty chilled. Anyway, Bruno, your question.
Yes, let's assume, for the sake of the argument,
Yeah.
that Alliance goes through, which is
Okay.
the most likely scenario. Alliance, Fnatic, Team Liquid, Na'Vi. Rank them the way you see them, from strongest to
from
weakest.
this tournament,
From this tournament.
I honestly could not put those 4 teams into any kind of order because
What a wuss answer.
I
Yeah,
agree, but,
cop out.
but hold on,
Unbelievable.
they've all seemed to have lost to everybody, beaten everybody. Who's
Yeah,
dominant?
but I agree with Pyrion.
Who's
I don't
dominant?
think you can.
No one.
Look at it this way, yeah? Fnatic came in strong, but then if they don't get their lineup, something like a Wiz CK, Tiny CK, they can look really abysmal.
Like against
and
VP.
so you can't
Didn't
trust
they lose
them.
to VP?
Yeah, you can't trust Fnatic, but they can beat everybody and they can lose to everybody, like a big spectrum. And then you've got Team Liquid. It's okay, it's mainly about their draft, is again kind of similar to Fnatic, and also if they don't get what they want from their lanes, and Bulba is just playing abysmal middle, they don't look that strong as well, so they can look overly strong and overly not. Na'Vi, probably I would maybe put a notch above them, just because They're really good. They can play aggressive, and they've been doing really well with their off-laners, I would say. And also, Dandy's always pretty solid mid.
But they've had some off games.
Yeah, but I would maybe put Na'Vi
But
just
they
a
are
notch above
still
them.
Na'Vi, yeah.
And Alliance across the whole tournament haven't been overly impressive. It feels like with this patch 6.79, they caved, like, from TI3 up to 6.79, they got stronger. With this patch, people have caught them up. So I don't know how close others are to them. So I would say it's like, literally, it's like Na'Vi Alliance, and then tiny bit under it's Fnatic and Team Liquid. But there's so little of a difference between all of them right now.
Andy, you want to save us?
What do you mean save us?
Okay.
That was like amazing.
Team Liquid number 1, Fnatic number 2, and then Alliance and then Na'Vi.
Wow.
Okay.
I did it the other way around, basically. I
Yeah.
did Na'Vi, Alliance, I would say Fnatic potentially over Team Liquid, because I think Team Liquid are easier to beat, because...
Unless you're Fnatic.
But overall, for the other teams, I think Team Liquid are slightly easier to beat, just because if you stop them getting their game, they never seem to have these big comebacks.
Right.
And Fnatic, in my opinion, have a kind of better skirmishy, fighty style when it comes to the fights, and that works.
This patch,
That works
definitely.
well, pretty well for them, like against like Alliance and Na'Vi. So I did the opposite to him, but I'm normally a lot more right than him.
I'm going to wrap up the thoughts about Alliance, which seems to be one of the crucial points or teams in discussion,
Go
one of the
ahead,
4
yeah.
teams in discussion here, naturally. With something that we mentioned about before, and I think it's something that you said before the game, it's like it seems that everyone has the heroes they feel comfortable with. And I think we've, like, you think Ake, and you think Enchantress, Chen, Crystal Maiden. You think EGM, you think Windrunner.
Emo.
Yeah, that as well. But you have like a couple heroes for every single Alliance player. And that worked perfectly with 678, because those heroes, you could put any of those 5 heroes together in a team in the last patch, and it worked amazingly well. But those same compositions in 679, even though they're playing their most comfortable heroes, it just doesn't work. I don't think maybe it's not EGM playing more aggressive, but rather maybe the fact that teams play more aggressive because 679 allows you to, where before you'd be in a tri-lane versus an off-laner, that the off-laner would be scared of the tri-lane. Now you're against maybe a dual lane or a 2v2 situation where EGM forgets the fact that he doesn't have as much room to play as before. And then again, like, EGM doesn't pan out. Loda, he goes for these things like we saw this game. He went for the Juggernaut that worked perfectly well. Now he faces a Tiny. Tiny was pretty much non-existent during 678. Was not a carry that people would pick, not even with Tiny. And now it's like, not even with Wisp, sorry.
Right.
And it works. So
And he crushed this game.
Yeah. So it feels like that. It feels like their most comfortable heroes are not that good anymore.
Yeah. I also feel that a lot of the heroes that are being picked and that are overly successful are the ones that have big impact on kills. The Clockwork and the kind of one...
Big team fight.
Yeah, but it's also like... you look at Hani playing the Lion today, it did work out because you can just get that kill. And you look at how Clockwork's being played by Na'Vi, it's been working out for him.
Elder Titan.
Yeah, it's like the ones that really kind of mess you up going into the mid game and have big kill potential, because kills are worth a little bit more now, have been the ones that have been going through. So I didn't feel that there was a huge amount of kill potential on the team of Alliance their last game. So we'll have to see how they're all going to play a DreamHack Winter, but we've still got one more day, and that will be tomorrow, and it will be Alliance 3 times. So hopefully you join us there, and make sure if you wanted to get involved, or if you did get involved, I'm sure the ASUS will update you on facebook.com/ROG Nordic for the Meatmalt mini tablet. And of course, tomorrow, someone's going to be able to win this.
Boom.
Yeah, and
Are you going to open it?
yeah, well, everyone on Twitter, like everyone in Twitch chat, because their Twitch chat, they're really smart. They found out what it is. I think I might have locked it now, and I don't know the code.
Have you?
Wait, let me see.
1, 2, 3, 5. There you go. It's all zero.
It's open.
Yeah.
Why have it in a fancy box and have 00000?
That's just how cool I am.
What is it?
It is
Tilt
a
it
graphics
just
card.
a little bit, just a tiny bit.
Okay.
I will help you. And
It is. I don't know much information about it. All I know is there's 999. I'll get more information tomorrow. It's a graphics card. Thank you, Milton.
It's an absolute monster.
And it's worth like €1,300, like almost like $2,000. And you know, if you've just been unhappy with your life, you've never got like you know, a girlfriend, and you lose all your Dota 2 games, you know, this will make everything better.
Yeah. It looks like the nuts.
I mean, just imagine that for such a reasonable price. But you don't even have to buy it, because tomorrow you can enter the competition with the final games of Alliance versus Na'Vi, Alliance versus Team Liquid, and Alliance versus
EG.
Yeah. You're going to bet those tomorrow on facebook.com/ROG Nordic. We're going to close this now. I'm going to change the code.
Yeah.
That will be part of winning it. You have to guess the code.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, and we're off. So thank you for watching today, and see you tomorrow for the final day of the league, and then we'll be back for DreamHack Winter on the 28th.
What's up guys, I'm AP and I think that the Rise series of mechanical keyboards is perfect for gaming Dota 2. With 5 macro keys and 3 thumbstick keys, I have a lot more options in my reach to take care of Dota 2's peripheral actions. And if that's not enough, I can bind secondary functions to each key thanks to Easy Shift. This, the high quality Cherry MX key switches and the comfortable wrist rest make the Rise series my choice for gaming Dota 2.